Hey guys, it's Carla. Today I'm working on a canvas panel that I've already covered in a mixture of blue and brown. So just kind of a smoky gray color. And I've got acrylic paint. This is white, bright yellow, orange, burnt sienna, and admiral blue. So something close to those colors will work. All right, so I'm going to start with my sky up here. And I think for that I'll just use a flat brush, synthetic brush. And I just want to lighten it up a little bit up here in this corner. Don't want it to be too bright though, so I'm going to kind of dull it down with some sienna. And this is paint extender. It works like glazing liquid. So it doesn't take much over here, just want to brighten it up just a little bit. Okay. Actually, I think I'll come down a little bit more right here. Okay. Now I'm going to switch to my hog bristle fan brush and go ahead and lay in my mountain and the ground. So I'll pick up some of this, maybe a little touch of white. Just a nice like desert mountain color. It's not going to be a green mountain like you might be used to seeing because this is in the desert. So I'm just going to kind of roughly create an edge here of the mountain and then bring my ground across. Then I can fill all this in. And I don't want this edge to be a hard line or anything, so I'm kind of softening it up, just tapping out the edge there. I want the mountain to be kind of rocky, I guess, kind of choppy. I'll come back to the mountain later. So I'm going to go ahead and start on my bush. And to do that, I'm going to use just a round brush and start putting in my darkest areas. Okay, so I want the bush to be about right in here, and then Moses can be about right here, so I'll go ahead and start this here. So it's just going to be, this is just going to come up, and the bush is going to kind of be about like that, and then of course flames coming out of it. So actually I'm just going to use my fan brush to create this. And I'm not going to use the full length of the fan brush. I'm going to use a corner so that I don't get any like lines on it or something. Okay. Now I want to dry this real quick because I'm about to put in bright colors and I don't want it to mix with these dark colors. So I'm going to go ahead and dry it and I'll be right back. Okay, so now it's dry. And so now I've got kind of the indication of where the bush is going to be. So now I'm going to take my round brush and go ahead and start putting in the shape of my flames. And to do that, because this is a dark background, I need to start with white because white will cover that. These other colors are too transparent. So I'll start with white and then I'll come back over them with the colors. So I'm going to use the tip of my brush and just kind of create some flame shapes. And anywhere that I want the bright color, I'm going to put this white. So I want some of it to kind of be peeking through here like the whole bush is on fire, not just the top of it. Maybe the flames are going off in this direction. Okay. And now the flames, once I get the color in, the flames will be kind of casting some color onto the ground too. And so again, I need to start with the white. So I'm just using the fan brush, just kind of the flat side of the fan brush, to put in a light base. And it's also reflecting onto the mountain in places, so I get some of that in there. Okay. So now I can start bringing in my yellow. So I'm going to go back to my round brush. I'm starting with the yellow because it's lighter, so it just works better to start with the lighter color. So everywhere that I have white, I'm going to brush this in. And it's okay if you get out of line. The main thing is just cover all the white, but if you get out of line, it's just more yellow, so it's no big deal. Okay, and then down here on the ground, I'm gonna thin it out a little bit. You can do this with any brush, really. Okay, now I'm going to come in with my orange. Now the orange is mostly around the edges, mostly. So I want to leave this nice and bright. And I'm not covering up all my yellow around the edges, but I just don't want to cover up much of it here. All right, now I'm gonna need some more of this burnt sienna. And I'm keeping this even more on the outside, like outside the orange. All right, now I'm going to come back with a white and yellow mixture. Just to ensure that this area is really bright. Okay, so now with my fan brush again, I'm going to pick up just the raw sienna. The burnt sienna. Dab it off. And I'm going to use the corner of my brush again. And put my bush back in. Okay, now I need a little hint of orange down here. I've got the yellow and it's dry, so I'm going to go ahead and mix a little bit of like a light yellow orange. Kind of a glaze. So this just kind of warms it up around the edges, but I want to leave it, well, I want to leave like a bright spot right here. So kind of like, the fire is bright in the middle and then it gets darker around the edges. Same thing here. Okay, now I think I'll come in with just a little bit of something down there going on. It doesn't matter what it is, just at the foot of the bush. I just want some texture. And this is just a clean brush. Just kind of blurring that out a little bit. Okay. Now I think I'll go ahead and maybe, oh, I know what I need. I'm going to use my liner brush and put in some some, I don't know what you call these with the bush, limbs, or, I don't know, but something that holds it all up. Okay, and then with the fan brush again, with just a little yellow, put some highlights just very lightly on the bush. Barely touching it. Alright, so now I can work on Moses. And I'm just going to paint him in, but when I make the traceable, I'll do the outline for you. So I just need a base color. Maybe something like this to start with. And let's see, I said he was going to be about right here. His head. Indicating like bare feet because he's standing on holy ground. Okay. Now I'm going to go back to my round brush and start putting some color in there. So maybe I kind of imagine him to have gray hair. So I'm just going to tap this in. Leave room for his face. Bring his beard down this way. And then maybe his clothes are mostly blue. I want to darken his feet a little bit. At least the back side of them where the light's not shining on them. The back and the bottom. And then his hand would probably be this lighter shade. And then I'm going to give him a staff. Start putting some shadow color in before I put my highlights in. All right, and then my highlights will be just a light orange to make it look like the light from the fire is shining on him. Now I wonder if it might look even brighter with a yellow glaze on it, on the highlights. I think that warms it up some. Now with my liner brush, I want to put a highlight on the fire side of the staff. Just on the fire side. Okay, now I'm going to take my round brush again and create a, I'll run out of this again. I really used a lot of it. Create a shadow, a cast shadow from him. So my fire is here, which is my light source, so the shadow is going to be cast in this direction. So something like this. So I'm going to start at his feet. Leave a gap between the feet. And then here's his robe. And it's coming off in this direction. And then the same with the staff. So it's coming up, it disappears into this shadow. Now I want to look at it and make sure that everything is bright enough, and I feel like I could brighten up a few areas. Maybe right here, because the brighter this is, the brighter the fire looks. So like I can even come between here and brighten up the negative space and make the painting look like give it more of a glow. So that brightens that up a lot. It makes the shadow stand out more, and which makes the whole thing look brighter. And then I'm going to go in with just white and give this another little boost of brightness. Just mostly in the center. And then maybe back here, his hair wouldn't be so bright because it's in shadow. Tone that down a little bit with the glaze. Darken my dark spots, which makes the light areas look lighter. All right, that does it, guys. Thank you for watching, and until next time, God bless you.